I need your opinion. Justice Hooney count. End of the fight. Quick count or no? Fair. This fight, Fabio just defeated Joe Parker, 11th round stoppage. I had him down on the card 7-3. Here's the stoppage. Let me know what you think. That's the left hook. That one gets past the guard, kind of grazes. Parker's cognizant the entire time, though. He kind of rolls with the punch. It lands, but he's still there. The ref is like, I'm about to stop this joint. The ref is like, yep, watch. I'm about to stop this joint. Wardley throws a straight right there. You see it glances off Parker's guard, kind of grazes him. The ref was like, yep, I'm stopping this joint. And he jumps in and stops the action. And remember, if you took Parker like me and your parlay got dusted due to that bad call, remember, it's still good.
Still goes. Remember that.
All right, guys, what's crack-a-lacking? How's everyone doing? I gotta be honest with you. You know, I made that video, the short one, right after it happened, and then I rewatched the 11th. This might be controversial. I think what's more suspicious than the stoppage was actually the scorecards going into the 11th. There was a judge going into the 11th who was giving the fight to Wardley. I had the scoring going into the 11th 7-3 for Parker. That means that one of the judges in the same fight that was being watched by the whole world had Parker winning or had Wardley winning the fight. Now, if you watch 30 seconds leading up until the stoppage, I think Wardley had thrown something like 20 to 30 punches that were unanswered. So when it finally got stopped, that was the back end of a flurry. So if you look at the stoppage through a microscope of just the last few punches, it does look like an early stoppage, but you know, you kind of have to watch the rest of the last 30 seconds to get a better understanding. And look, I gave you guys two picks all week. I said if you guys were on Joe Parker, take Joe Parker by decision. And then, I mean, anybody out here who's celebrating, I've told you I picked Wardley. I'm the best guy in the world. I told you I picked Wardley by knockout. No shit. The dude has a 95% career knockout to win ratio. So if you're one of these guys online who wants to get a lot of love from me as like a guy who knows what they're doing regarding breaking stuff down, you're not going to tell me that you saw it coming. No shit. That's why if you pick Wardley, you're going to pick him by knockout. But there was some controversy to it, and like I said, I feel the biggest controversy was the scorecards. And I'll bring those up for you real quick. Wherever you guys are tapping in, say what's up. Make sure you like this video. I appreciate everyone. The Discord's been popping. The channel's been growing. If you haven't already subscribed, hit subscribe. Comment down below how you did this weekend. We hit a lot. You know, we missed on the knockdown prop, which I'm spewing about. But Kyrgyzstan, baby, we was eating. The underdog of the week hit again. I told you about Casemiro. We were on Kameda all week. So that hit, and then we hit the whole parlay. Also Japan. There were fights in Japan. So we did well. We did really good. And we got more fights tonight that I'm going to go over in a second. But have a look at this. And guys, if you're not having fun doing this, don't do it. As you can tell, I'm having, dude, you should be having fun. Here we go. Look at the scoring. Judge 3 had it 95-95. Judge 2 had it 96-94. Judge 1 had it 98-92. 98-92, I could see. 95-95 is insane. 95-95 is insane. So, I mean, no one's talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like the judging. So now what we have to deal with when we go to the UK, boys, We not only have to deal with the judging, we knew that. We have to deal with the dude, these are, you know, I come from the old school. You boys come from the old school. Parker, that last sequence, he was fine. You know, I didn't show you an uppercut before that. All you guys got to see was the left hook that kind of, Parker was here. The left hook wraps around, catches him here. And then Wardley throws the straight right, and Parker kind of slips that too. And he's cognizant the entire time. Right before the left hook, Wardley throws an awful uppercut that doesn't land. So what started it was a really exhausting looking uppercut that missed. The hook landed, but it wasn't flush because Parker rolled with it, and then the straight right kind of slipped it. But yeah, early stop. It's the scoring, guys. The scoring here is freaking ridiculous. 95-95 going into the 11th. What are we talking about? 26-3 landed in round 11. Yeah, that for sure. Second round stoppage might have been less controversial. You know what's even more controversial out here? Because my prop of the week was a knockdown. It's like, come on, Joe Parker, take a knee to get a standing count. You know what I'm saying? But this is another testament on why Parker wasn't in trouble in the 11th. Because if he was in trouble, you know, take a knee, take a count. He did not think that the ref was going to stop it. It was pretty wild. What's up? Put on the effect. Put on the elect. Every time I read your screen name, I always want to. There was an old 90s hip hop song, Put on the Effect. So put on the elect. That was complete trash. Yeah, there we go, Shawnee. Shawnee Shine. Doing well. I did well with Royce and Ezra. We eating. Good hit on that. Ezra did what he had to do. Royston did what he had to do. He was in for a fight. Guys, this is a good thing. Is it time for us to finally give Wardley his flowers, though? You know what I'm saying? Like this gets lost. There's a few things that gets lost in this fight. Is the fact that it was a good dog fight. It was a good fight, man. Joe Parker's tough as nails. And you know, let's give Wardley his flowers, bro. You know what I mean? Like for some reason, people are kind of like hesitant on doing that, and it's like, what else can my man do? He's 20-0 with 19 knockouts. I mean, yeah, he has flaw, but you know, if this kid was from New York City or Philly, if this kid was from Atlanta, this kid was from the US, he would be, you know, I think he'd be a much bigger star. I mean, he keeps finding ways to win. You know what I'm saying? He keeps finding ways to win, and you know, people are going to say what they will about Hooney. It's our job. It's our job to break down, discuss, critique, and we do it from an educated perspective. But at the same time, the one thing that you guys, if you're new to my channel, you're going to learn about me is I'm fair. So even though, you know, I bet against him, you know, I picked Parker to win by decision, but a lot of people, I'll show you receipts, listen to me when I said take Wardley by knockout. So, you know, we were torn in half, but that's what I do on my channel. I give both sides all fight week. Now, if you just watch my Stats Don't Lie video, you're only going to get my money line prediction. But on my live streams every day, I give you guys a path to victory for both. You know what I'm saying? And so, but what's getting lost here is Fabio Wardley, man. You know what I mean? Where does he go? I want to see Wardley versus Dubois. Slow the Usyk chat down. You know, I don't even know what I want to see from Usyk. You know, is Usyk done? Do we want to see? I want to see. Maybe Usyk gives up the belts. Maybe he retires. Who knows what he does? But Wardley versus Dubois, I think, might be the fight. I don't wager much, but I do tip my bartender. Let's take care of our boy. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thanks, boxing fan. High interest, yo, brother. What's up, big dog? We checking in. We in the house. Let me go over some of the hits real quick. So these are some of the boys who listen to my bets. And if you guys aren't following me on Insta, if you guys are on Insta and you're into that sort of thing, I use my Instagram story as kind of like a 24-hour news cycle for boxing. So I don't really post Instagram, but as you can tell, I keep my story as sort of our news cycle. So if ever you want to like have any questions on what's going on in boxing, go to my story. Johnny Stofko on Instagram, and I'm waiting for it to load. But Wardley solid, but Usyk's gonna stop. But yeah, I don't even know. Is that the fight we want to see though? Is that the fight we want to see? Wardley definitely gets the flowers, considering where he comes from, teeing off on big dogs. Yeah, I mean, from you know, even I'm watching like these British commentators. I'm watching some UK boxing commentators, and they kind of shade him a bit. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like when your own people are shading you, it kind of it's kind of a weird thing because in the UK they got they still chat about the heavyweight landscape there is pretty kind of full. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here's some of the receipts. Oh, we're gonna go back to last night because we hit last night. We did a lot of good work all weekend, by the way. We worked in Japan. I gave you guys in the Discord my Japanese picks. So if you're not in the Discord, guys, you got to get in there. Click that link. It's a couple bucks a month. And here we go. Right here. Okay. So our weekend started with Ayumi Sano. Sano was in Kyrgyzstan, but Shori Umuzi was $1.86. He was fighting in a 50-50 fight in Japan. I gave you guys this 3-leg parlay. I gave it to you guys on my Instagram. This was a plus 714. So $100 here would have got you your money back, plus another 614 bucks, plus another 714 bucks. So that's how we started the weekend. So we're already up. And then once Japan hit, we had 2 fights going into Kyrgyzstan, and that was the Sanu fight, $1.71, and he looked really good against Tagusaka. And then Kameda was my underdog of the week. Kameda beat Casemiro. So we're already up. We're eating here, right? We're doing good. Everybody's eating. I told you guys going into the Parker fight, the odds were shit. If you're a Joe Parker fan, don't go heavy. I told you guys it's not worth putting on a parlay, $1.23. So I did a Joe Parker knockdown prop, and that which didn't hit, which it was close, and then a Fabio Wardley to win by knockout. So those were the 2 options, whichever way you liked it. Now, it's my favorite meme. You know this. I love this meme. We back up. We'll play it one more time. Okay, so now this is the one I gave. I posted it for you guys. I showed you the odds. Apologize to a lot of my Filipino fans. A lot of the Filipino boys follow me on Facebook. They were salty. I told you, I was like, Casemiro's coming in undersized. He's 36 years old. Really hadn't had a big win since 2019. And Kameda looked good in his last loss. So this came through for us. So we're already eating, right? This was Kameda 262. UFC, we hit on Nathaniel Wood 233. Ludovic Klein $1.75. This is just a shout out to. So, guys, if this is our Discord during the fights, this is a live betting feature. There's 70 people in there during Wardley versus Parker doing play-by-play. So this is another good feature if you guys are kind of on the fence about joining our insider group. It's not just betting; it's a community. We got this was during the live feed. So while the fight's going on, you got 70 boys in there, round by round, scoring it, and then keeping everybody up to date on the live odds. At one time, Parker was. This is a shout out. Yo, we got the greatest Discord facts. So Wardley winner. Do you guys know this cat? Does anybody know my man right here? He's my new favorite follow on Instagram. Still good. We still good. Casemiro fights are not available to bet on in Michigan, but I would have bet on Kameda. That's wild that they do you like that, Sal. So see, the receipts. We still good. Shout out to one of the boys in the Discord. Took the pics. Got paid over 7K. So he was messaging me on Insta. Thanks again, bro. He hit seven. We want $7,700, man. We want to see it. We love to see it. Everybody's trying to eat. Another one. $6,800 on the picks. We trying to eat. This was the live stream where I said, during the fight week, guys, I'm not just going to give you one side. This was a live stream I did, and I said, hey, this is the outcome for Wardley to win by knockout. These are the odds. Broke it down. The smart money, the money would have been there because the $1.23 on Parker, I said all week, wasn't enough to put on a parlay, wasn't enough to go heavy on. The odds were shit. So if you were diehard from New Zealand, diehard Joseph Parker, you would have had to find a way to make money on the fight. Archaeologists, and it was paying off until it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Whether you wanted him by decision, the decision was looking good until it wasn't. This is another one. This is my man. So this is my man Win. Shout out to Win Santiago. He emailed me this. Nailed it, Johnny. This guy's a heavyweight Arturo Gotti. He put 400 on the Wardley by stoppage. One, got paid out 1,600. We love to see it. I want you guys to win. So this is us right now. All right, I want to talk about this. So this was yesterday. This was a post made by the Ring Magazine, and this was the Ring Magazine's voting on who was going to win Wardley versus Parker. And my opinion on these guys isn't really good. I don't really like. Chris Arreola is the only dude I'm going to give credence to. Arreola was a fun pro. Arreola has a good fight mind. I love when he breaks down fights. He gives fair assessments. Chris Arreola, hats off to Chris Arreola. But the other guys, Shady McCoy does not know boxing. Mike Coppinger, come on, mate. Suspicious. And this version of Max, Mike, and Shady are equivalent to sort of paid political shills for any sort of right-wing or left-wing like news outlet. The Ring Magazine has a narrative that they spew out. And so when I saw that these guys were picking Parker, I'm like, the bet's cooked. I was like, the bet is cooked. People are sleeping on Fabio. If you guys have ever seen a Bronx Tale, this shit right here reminds me of at the beginning of a Bronx Tale when they're at the dog races, and everybody got their action, everybody's all hyped, and then you see Mush. Mush comes down from the stairs. Hey, number seven, yeah. And everybody sees before the race is even over. They see Mush got their pick, and they just tear up the tickets, and they leave before the race is even over. That's how I felt when I saw these Ring boys picking Parker. I was like, we're cooked. We are cooked. What else we got here? Oh, that's me talking shit. All right, this is Joe after the fight. I wanted to play this. I want to play this.
Fabio better or tougher than what did or not?
Tougher, yeah, tougher than what I expected, and I give credit to him for performance he put on. I felt like it was going back and forth. I had some moments, I felt like I was controlling the fight, but again, big quick punch, And can I say?
I did ask you in there that it was always said it was a fight that you didn't need to take, but you took it because
he didn't have to take this fight.
If there's another fight coming soon, I'll have to take any fight. I just want to continue fighting. I still feel like I got a lot to give. Obviously, it didn't go my way tonight, but what can I do? Accept the move.
Yeah, I said it from jump. I didn't like this fight for Joe. I wanted to ask his team. I wanted to ask his camp. I would ask him straight to his face. I said this last week. I didn't like this fight. I mean, it didn't make sense to me other than an ego fight, other than an old savage who wanted to show that he's no gatekeeper and wanted to show the young buck what time it really is. And everything was working and going to plan, minus the second round and minus a little bit part of the 10th round. But Joe Parker was on his way. What is up? This is what I'm talking about. Fabio Wardley, boy, this dude. Well, we got to see him outside of the UK though. Let's make his next fight in maybe Dubai. Does that make sense? But who does he fight next? What happens with Joe Parker? You know, he's been in some wars. We know that. This is the one that I like. What's your opinion on this, boys? Is this would you is this an interesting fight? Because I want to know what he, are we sold on Wardley? Does he beat Dubois? Interesting. I don't know. Maybe we might not see this. Maybe we would see this. Because a lot of people are saying Moses Ituama. I mean, maybe Moses versus Fabio. Would that be the move? Moses versus Fabio? I'd rather see Moses versus Justice Huni and Fabio versus Dubois. Or even Moses versus Kiki Torres. People are sleeping on or Kiki versus Fabio. You know what I'm saying? Who would win that fight? Kiki Torres versus Fabio. I think that Kiki Torres at this stage of the game, nice little amateur career. I like, he big win over Guido Vianello. We just saw Guido win by knockout against kind of an overhyped opponent. But this is a fight to think about. Muscles hit for 20K. Dude, you guys are insane, by the way. I was watching I was watching Gary from 3D's live stream, and I'm gonna pull it up. I was watching Gary 3D's live stream. I'm gonna show you the Discord. And we got boys now changing their screen name. Not just their screen name. Y'all cats are wild. This. So this was from Gary's live stream. Y'all cats are out here. Who the hell is changing their profile picture to muscles? This shit's we're never gonna get past this, are we? Ticketgate will live in infamy as long as my channel exists. We'll never get past this. Is that PJ? So PJ changed his name, and then he changing the profile pic. Changing the profile pic though is like next level grimy. You know what I mean? Like we can't even watch. I can't even watch other people's content without the fear of that shit happening. You got somebody. This is hilarious. Yeah, thank you, Fawaz. Thanks, Fawaz. But guys, it was interesting. How did you guys take? Anybody want to come on? We're about 30 minutes in. If anybody want to pop on, high interest, DJ Green, and all the boys in the Discord. If you want boxing fan, you could come on. The link is in the Discord. Come on if you want to chat about it. I want to know if you won. I know boxing fan, he hit nicely on Wardley. So, where do we go from here? We got some action tonight, boy. This is for all them DGen boys. I'm about to show you we got action. I initially thought we might be heading in upset alert territory, but we're not. There's just a couple like I'm salty that Bibiano fight didn't go down. So Bibiano was supposed to fight Duzmatov, but Duzmatov misweighed multiple times. The last time by 3 pounds, and Mr. Komeda was like, "We don't do all that. We don't be we don't be doing all that." So the fight was off. We didn't get to see Bibiano versus Duzmatov. I had live action of Bibiano. I thought he was a live dog, and I thought those odds were super disrespectful. So that fight didn't take place. So if any of you guys had that on your parlay, hopefully your sports betting app did the right thing and just removed the fight and didn't hold out on your payouts. DJ, man, you took you took Alfredo Cruz. This cat out here. Did you really take Cruz? Cruz was like a 7-1 dog. So Alfredo Cruz fought on the undercard of Malik Montgomery versus Joshua Pugan. Oh yeah, we hit guys. What are we doing? We hit on Pagan too. See, this is how suspect I am. If I don't win 100% of all of my tips, I act like I forgot that we did. I forgot that we hit on Pagan. We broke the Pagan outcome down to the T. So this fight, Cruz fought on the Pagan Montgomery undercard. Yeah, that's a good hit, DJ. DJ's always out here hitting though. Keeping that on the down low though. I stole that. Thank you for Waz. So here we go. Let's go update real quick, boys. We're gonna talk about what we got ahead. We got fights tonight. If you guys are real grimy, I know that if PJ's on this live stream, Pete, man, we gotta start clowning PJ more, guys, boys out there. PJ takes the shit out of everyone. We gotta start clowning PJ more. I'm just saying, in a good way. So PJ, if you're on, in a good way, because you go hard on some of the boys, and you got to be able to take it. Sure enough, PJ just he's in the Discord right now. Why didn't you tell me to take it? Why didn't you tell me to take it? How come you didn't tell me to take Wardley out here? The boys are at Ruth Chris eating steaks and shrimps. You guys are wild. How do you guys feel about Lubin Ortiz? Let's talk about that. Let's cover this fight tonight real quick, and then we could go to Lubin Ortiz. All right, so we have two fights. There's no value here. Tateron and Neary, there's no one on upset alert. We're not even getting knockout props. Nope. I'm not. There's no reason to even play these fights. There's no reason. Lewis Neary by knockout? Nah. Let's check box Bet365. Let's see what Bet365 is saying up in here. All right, here we go. So Bet365 has 3 fights. Kenneth Lover versus Luciano Beldor. So I was, after the Wardley outcome, I was starting to tape this fight because I was like, oh shit, we might have a sneaky upset alert. And then I was looking at Luciano Beldor box, and I was like, I'm not betting on either one of these guys. So I'm not taking action on this is tonight in Kyrgyzstan, guys. So this is Lewis Neary headlining in Kyrgyzstan. The gifted membership is dope. Whoever got a gifted membership from Boxing Fan, tell him thank you. Let me know if you're one of the gifted boys, and I'll send you the Discord link. Did Lover miss weight? Makey, are you sprinkling? Mankey, are you sprinkling on the Lover fight then? Let me show you. So this is Lover versus Beldor. Wait till you see Beldor's resume. This resume is suspect. No shade, though. No shade. No shade. No shade. So this dude is 21-4. He's got stopped twice. He has 1 knockout. He's an Argentine. Who out there is a DGen that is going to bet on this fight? Because I, sir, am not the one. I lead from a position of leadership. Don't go chasing your losses. Don't chase your losses, guys. If you're down and if you're not having fun, don't bet. You don't have to bet. You don't have to bet to join the Discord, guys. It's not just betting in there. Usyk, my guy, with the super chat, man. You always hook me up. Thank you, Usyk. Usyk, is that? How did you change? Look, how do you got a profile pic of my big ass head? This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm screenshotting that. You got a big ass. I got a Hey Arnold head. You're using my big melon as your profile pic. That's chaos. Thank you for the super chat, big dog. I appreciate you. Tom versus Gone was so disappointing. It ended in a no contest, right? No, it was an eye poke. We could pull it up. It was nasty, guy. The eye poke. How do you guys handle injuries? You know what I mean? Some people. Did you guys see Ludovic Klein's ankle break? Oh, Ludovic Klein's ankle break was so. That one saddened me because I'm a Ludovic Klein fan, and a lot of you guys were boxers, but if you're watching the UFC, you probably like strikers like myself. I'm not going to watch the UFC and cheer for grapplers. I'm going to watch the UFC and cheer for strikers, right? Adrian Yanez, Joshua Van, Ilya Topuria, guys with great boxing. There's a kid from from Slovakia, Ludovic Klein, who fought tonight, and he fought a Polish kid, Rubecki. It was a good fight, but Ludovic Klein stand up. I think he was a Muay Thai. He was either a Muay Thai world champion or a kickboxing world champion. And his striking, dude, is just point. His pull in counters tonight were on point. But in one of the first grappling exchanges, starting the third round, in this awkward sort of, it looked like a judoku throw. It looked like a judo toss. His foot got stuck, and you could see his ankle snap. And nobody wants to see it. It's. But then to answer your question, Tom, Aspinall versus Gane ended abruptly due to Gane's whole finger going into Aspinall's eyeball socket. So we'll see if we can pull it up. The UFC never shares good content, though. What's a good MMA Instagram site to see the content? I'm gonna try to pull it up. See that? Are they gonna play it? And the crowd was booing. When you see the replay, dude, this is absolutely disgusting. Who should I go to? Maybe Calf Kick Sports. Those are my guys. Shout out to Calf Kick Sports if you guys don't follow them, if you like MMA. These guys are beasts. I bet you these boys have it. Yep. What did I tell you? These cats are wild out here. Oh. So yeah, his whole finger. What's up, player? Oh my god! What the fuck? What's up, player? And the fans were booing. Hey Johnny, I became a member a while ago. Yeah. So Aussie Pugilist. The way you get the link is go on your YouTube app. Go to my channel. Okay? So go to my channel. You have a membership section that the regular subscriber doesn't have this feature, but you do. So go to membership, and then you'll see the link there. And if the link is expired, because I put like I think I put like a 4-day expiry on it. If the link is expired, message me. I'll send you another one. Double I. Come on, this is so nasty. I'm just gonna leave it up for you boys real quick. Daniel Vega, good hit. Good hit. I want to. We're gonna. Let's see what else we got here. This was the UFC. I didn't get to see the Batista fight. Did Batista get dog walked? Did anybody watch the UFC with Nurmagomedov and Batista? This was absolutely insane too. Dude, mini Calvin Gastelum is a real legit fighter. And the Aussie right here starched him. This was a crazy knockout. You know what? The UFC must be copywriting people, because back in the day, everybody would be sharing these highlights, but I guess they got them copyright joints. Boxing fan Umar got dropped. He did. Okay, Umar got dropped. Yeah, Bautista's a dog, so he lost the decision. So he fought well. I thought the 4-1 dog was a bit much. I thought people were sleeping on Mario. I thought he was worth a sprinkle, so it's good that he did well. Mario's a dog. He doesn't, he's not one of these guys that's going to self-promote. He's not going to talk a big game, but the kid is a dog. The kid could fight, and he's a tough out for anyone. So I'm looking forward to watching that. Aussie Pugilist. Yeah, Pugilist, we'll get you that link, big fella. He dropped Umar in the second with a knee. Good looking out, Usyk. I appreciate you. But Umar beat him through and through. Okay. So he had his so was it one of these things where in MMA, because there's so many different skills that one must master, oftentimes at the highest level, you'll see the specific skill that the better fighter will have in the stylistic matchmaking that'll supersede whether it's the toughness or the other dude's skill. Because with Batista, it's not really just one thing. It would be his pace, his aggression, his output, his wrestling. He's pretty solid all around. But Nurmagomedov, I mean, people get fooled by the last name and think that you're going to get a Khabib-style fighter because they have the same last name, but he's a totally different beast. Volkov won. They should cut Almeida from the UFC. He doesn't even fight. No way. Dude, did anybody take Volkov? Volkov was a huge dog. That was worth the sprinkle. Yeah, I was never high on Almeida. Those big muscle-bound cats who just kind of look suspect, like, maybe we should give you a drug test or something. I was never really that high. I don't like bullies, though, guys. You know that, like, certain, a fighter, I just don't like bullies. I've never liked bullies. Guys who, kind of use the fit, was Almeida really ever that good is my point. Okay, Maestro. Shout out Maestro. Good hit. Took Volkov. Did you take Volkov because the matchmaking? Did you see the odds? Or was it something else? Did you see something in the tape in the study that you just felt? Because Volkov's been in there with the best fighters in the heavyweight division for like a decade. Volkov's experience, literally in the UFC, in probably main event fights, trumps Almeida's. Almeida, just popped in maybe 3 years ago, I think. He was kind of like, did Almeida come up post-COVID or the COVID era whenever all those fights were going down at the apex without the crowd? But Volkov has been in there. I'll never forget when Derek Lewis, Volkov was beaten. Derek Lewis literally had like a Fabio Wardley-esque performance when he was losing every second of every minute against Volkov until he wasn't. And Lewis, with like a minute left, I think, in the third, lands a bomb and, stops him real late. Guys, wherever you're tapping in, let's like this video, subscribe, comment your wins, comment your losses. Tell me if you want me to talk about a fight. I will get, one of your questions was Virgil versus Lubin. So we'll get to Virgil and Lubin. It's a fun fight. We got a lot of fun fights coming up. Me by nature is going to be a natural optimist. So I'm a very optimistic person, and I've always been this way. And I think by nature, human beings, where you're either going to be optimistic or you're going to be pessimistic, and some people you meet are kind of neutral, which is cool, whatever side. I think that we kind of tend to feed whatever we feel. And my point is, I hear this narrative going around a lot with boxing. We don't have a lot of big fights, there's not a lot of boxing to watch. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? We've been watching like 72 hours straight of boxing. There is a lot of boxing to watch. There's a lot of money on the table. But don't gamble to get rich. I don't even call it, I bet I'll sprinkle because I love the sport so much. It just adds an element of intrigue for me because I'm competitive and I like, I want to see if I saw what I saw was right. And that's why, guys, when you have outcomes like Parker versus Wardley, disregard what the ref did. But when you have an outcome like that, when your film study was on point, when your prediction was on point, and then it's a blood sport. Things happen. So no, you could do all the film you want, you could do all the study you want, you could train all you want. Like I'm a coach and I box, right? So it's not just I'm been interviewing fighters for a decade or writing books for a decade, or I just fight. Walked in my first gym as a 7 when I was 7, or I just train but I don't write. My point is, when you add all that stuff together, like if you have somebody who's a boxing writer, like a pundit, but they've never sparred before, or they've never trained before, they could study the sport all they want. They could see it all they want. But there's certain things that only somebody who knows how to box will pick up and will see that the person who's never thrown a punch or been hit with a punch will understand. Things like timing, things like setups, things like traps, things like feints, things like bites, all these sort of things. Changing the speed on your punches, changing your entrances, changing your exits, angling, setting somebody up off of the angle, throwing something naked versus hiding it behind a jab, all these sort of things. So you could do all you want. And I thought I did all of that. And it was for Parker versus Wardley. And it was all playing out perfectly until it wasn't. So that's kind of where we are. So, on the gambling side of things, you know, like Muscles is a professional gambler. So Muscles is a guy who he bets for a living. He doesn't, it's all he does. And recently we had a huge fight a couple weeks ago that we all hit on. Bilal Fawaz. I featured it. I broke it down. I gave it to you guys on Tuesday. We had Bilal Fawaz at, he was close to a 3-1 dog and he hit. And Muscles had Bilal Fawaz at 1-1. He found him at his casino paying even money and he won 20,000 off a $20,000 bet. But my point is, however much film study you do, and the moment you think you know what's going to happen, nobody knows what's going to happen. There are always going to be factors that are out of our control. So it all relates to the gambler, the person who is betting. It's going to be a risk out of your control. So if you're losing and you're betting to get rich and you're betting money that you don't have to pay your bills, and now you're stressed and pissed off and it's affecting you and your girl are fighting because your stomach's sick because you owe $2,000 in rent and you just gambled it, dog, don't come on my shit. Don't pause. Don't leave. Please seek help. This is not what I'm trying to create here. I do not want to give a false pretense that this is a place for degenerates. This is a boxing fandom channel. This is for people who are students of the game. And one of the outcomes is we get to use our knowledge, collectively join forces, and see if we could kind of come up, right? But I lately I've been seeing some folks, some boys having breakdowns about outcomes. Like if you would have put 10 grand on Parker by decision, you are happy as hell for after the second round, you're cruising, you're texting your boys, you're already thinking ahead. You're like, I got this, boy. I mean, that would have been 2-1. I'll take this 5 grand and put it here. I'm going to put the other 5 grand here. And you start, counting your eggs before they hatch sort of thing. And then the 10th round happens and, your booty hole starts to pucker a bit. You start my lack of better terms. That was one of my football coaches. Look at that. Look across the field. Look how scared they are. Their assholes are puckering. So sorry for the reference, but the 10th round ends and the 10 grand that you thought you were up is kind of getting a little bit nervous. The 11th round, it starts and you're just like, all right, I got this. Parker just needs 6 more minutes and I'm eating. And then it gets stopped. And then your girl who's texting, you're like, you don't respond back to her. And then you hit something and then you leave a message on your Instagram like F all this. And then like if that is you, please stop gambling. If that's you, don't do it. You are not good. You are not still good if that's you. Why these fools say muscles hasn't been seen? I don't know, Mankey. I don't know, Mankey. Mankey, is it Mankey or Mankey? Because I want to pronounce your name right. Mankey crazy? Mankey crazy. Rambler, muscle scan is taken from 95. People sleep on Rambler. Rambler's my guy. Like whenever, because you know who I respect the most. I respect, I guess not who. You know what I value the most in life? I think this dates back to when I was a kid getting into like street fights and playground fights. Is like, and this is related to this comment with Rambler, is the fact that when you're young growing up, everyone grows up differently. There were a few times where like, I'd be in a horrible situation, 16, 17. I would know one or two guys in a different group that the majority of the group is trying to fight my friends. And I know if one of my boys throws a punch, our one rule was if one of us is fighting, we are all fighting. So I would be sitting back like, damn, I hope we don't fight. That's my man on the other. I like that dude, right? And so multiple times we would get into these fights, and then the whole groups would fight, and then afterwards I would become friends with a dude on the other. I'm lifelong friends with a kid named Joey Umbrello. Shout out to Joey Umbrello, man. I took Joey. Joey came to Cyprus with me to film a documentary just a few years ago. I met him when we were 15 in a street fight. This is a real rap true story. I met him in a street fight when we were 15. And then, got to know him and then, kicked it with him in college. Didn't talk to him for a decade. He hit me up like 6 years ago. I said I was living in Australia. Anyway, Rambler and we've been back and forth before arguing about our takes for months, not agreeing on stuff. And the fact that we could do that through a screen and not have our bot, not be able to understand, well, he can understand my inflection. I just have words to read from Rambler. But I respect that. I respect this hustle. Sal Pineda. Sal, weren't you saying you were watching the fight from a tree? Is that you? Sal Pineda. Sal, you were in Michigan. They weren't giving you options to bet on the Casemiro fight. Thanks for all your hard work, bud. Makes my day short. Don't always have time to watch your live chats, but I try to. Thank you. That makes my day. I appreciate you. Thanks for even if that was just a private message, Sal, I'd have the same reaction. Thank you for the tip too, because we work hard. I know you work hard for your money, and any way you guys could support me, it goes a long way. And the kind words are equally as powerful. So thank you as well. Landslide. No, there's my guy Julius. Julius, no distance. Julius, were you on the no distance prompt, or were you on Parker? I kind of, because I did a lot of live streams this week. I know you were popping in and out. I don't think you were on as many as you were the week before, but I know you had that no distance prop. What was that? 1-1? Landslide, be good. Take the lady to dinner. Good hit, Landslide. I'll see you this week. I appreciate you, Landslide. And boxing fan, guys, we're going on an hour. It's late for you boys. I'll stay on if you guys want to chat about something. Everybody who hit, man, congrats on the hits. Everybody who took a L, dust off. And if the L's are building up, man, take some time off. You know what I'm saying? The last thing trust me on this, the last thing anybody here wants to do is watch other people lose. And and we do our best to spread the wealth. We do, because just ask PJ in the Discord. Just ask PJ what the Discord looks like today versus this time last weekend. This time last weekend, or this time 2 weeks ago, PJ was going off. PJ was tripping on everybody, and And he was like, how come? He was like, how come you guys aren't sharing all your tips? And so PJ, when he was tripping on everybody by saying, how come you weren't sharing all your tips? That made the whole Discord group come up with a conclusion like, hey, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna organize the Discord group and fight by fight and start having polls. So my point is, now look at it. You took L's all week. PJ, pick one fight, mate. Why didn't you take Kameda? Why didn't you take my Japan? I gave you guys. You guys are tripping. Hold on, PJ. I left you a voice note. I left you the ticket. What do you want? Do you want me to just get a hold of your bank account and then I'll put the bet in for you? Give me 1 second. Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad's mustache out here is crazy, by the way. How do we rate Breaking Bad's mustache? That's the next poll. Damn, how many messages? Dude, you guys are going crazy up in here. Anyway, I can't find it. This ain't my bet. This isn't one of my strengths. I'm not a technical strong guy, dude, in terms of knowing technology. I was trying to find the ticket that I told PJ to take, and it hit. And then when he doesn't hit, he talks about, well, I ain't never be hitting. Y'all be hitting. Y'all always be fighting. I ain't never be. Y'all like Anthony Mason or something. Jinru, Johnny, I made money on Fabio. Eat, even though I had Parker. Same. Right here. Same. I had I told you guys all week my play. The play was this. My play all week was to leave Parker off of parlays, to leave Parker off of money line bets because the odds were not good enough. So I went 1-1. I missed on Parker to be knocked down. That was my one Parker play. It was my prop of the week. My prop of the week. No, it fucking did not hit. It was horrible. I lost money. But I did hit on Fabio by knockout. That was the other one. It was like those were the two money plays in my head that I saw for value. Because it was like, I mean, and people who took Fabio on the money line, that's the play too. I just, from how it played out, I didn't see that happening. Yeah. What the fuck I think I am. Dude, this used to be a simple place, and this used to be a simple place. It was me doing my Stats Don't Lie videos, no live streams, no Discords. I go about my business, my normal life. I would upload one video, Stats Don't Lie. I might have done a short about a weigh-in, and that was that. And now you guys got me doing prop of the weeks and long parlays and live streams. Like y'all got, like what the hell? How do we got here in like 3 months? This is the craziest shit. You guys like this is still new to me. The whole like I was just a simple man, just taking my money line bets, sharing it, and that was that. Now I'm getting all fit. I got a prop of the week out here. You do this up in here. Like, no, but what are we talking about? Johnny, this might be one of the Discord strongest weeks. Dude, the Discord's been popping. The tickets are looking crazy. Dude, I put them up on the gram, and guys, I used to share all the winning tickets. I had to stop doing that. It was only like a month ago I would share everybody's ticket on my Instagram. But it's like I'm not doing that. There's a lot of ticket. Maybe boxing fan, boxing fan, I got a great idea. Boxing fan. Let's do a separate Instagram. We could do a JSB Insta and just put our tickets up there. Something along those lines. We could do a JSB Discord, something like that. an Instagram page that doesn't have my big ass head on it. We could put the logo of the channel, and then we could use that and I could give everyone, like, you could have access to it. Something to think about. I think that's a good idea, because like you said, it was a good week. A lot of tickets hit. I only shared like 5 of them, I think. Random guy, Lubin on the money line. Dude, I gotta be honest with you, random guy. I like that bet. I, I did a live stream random like 3 weeks ago for Lubin and Virgil, and I actually debated Gary on his live stream. Gary from 3D Boxing. He, we didn't pick our. He loves Verge. I get it. Verge is one of my favorite fighters, but in our debate, I gave him. I was like, "There's a path to victory for Eric, man. People are sleeping on Eric." So it's a good fight. It's a fun fight. My long parlay still holding strong. I'm convinced everyone else wins. Connor Ben the hardest. And we're cheering for you, big dog. You had 20 underdogs on a play, but you didn't pick Wardley. Why was it plus 300? I didn't. I know you ain't talking to me, fool. Necessity is the mother of invention. Great idea. Yeah, like it could be sort of like another channel. It could be a social media outlet for like the tickets. And I know not everybody's on the gram, but something to think about. I think we might be onto something there, just sort of to add another leg to it. Julius, I got Usyk 1-6 versus Worley. Look, Julius, I wish I had receipts on your initial takes, because a lot of times Julius would, like, Usyk and Wardley, obviously not even on paper, right? Wardley 5 hours ago was in a ring with a guy named Joseph Parker. But over the last 3 months, I've seen a couple times Julius will have these super early takes. They'll come to fruition. And so at this point, I'm not gonna push back on that. It's like, what, you got a DeLorean that goes back in time? You hit the one on one of the ones that you hit an early ass take on was Fundora Zoo. Fundora Zoo 2. And it wasn't just, guys, it wasn't just Fundora's gonna beat Zoo. It was when I said I was going with Seb early. You said don't flip flop because you flip flop recently. You were like, it's Fundora's going to handle him a little bit better this time. And then on Wednesday, I flip flopped and took Zoo. And then after the fight happened, you brought up the receipt. So yeah, I can't argue that. Aussie Pugilist, you're the man, Johnny. Thanks. Appreciate you too, Aussie. What a great name too, Australia, baby. I've been here since 2013. I'm Aussie. Usyk in the second half. Oh, let's go. Andy Hiroka versus GAR. Guys, this fight. Okay. I've already taped this fight. I've already done my tape. I've been waiting on this fight for a long time. And it's going to come down to a couple things. Just like we said last week when we were debating Fabio versus Parker, what I said there was like, how much credence are you going to give Fabio with that performance against Hooney? How much credence will you give him? And he goes on and does the same exact thing, right? Similar, eerily similar. And there could be truth to say that Hooney actually handled Fabio a bit better. But you saw Fabio take some lessons from Hooney, and he applied that in terms of his punch placement and his combinations, his level changes, like the dropping a level, going to the body, coming back up top. But the questions were, how much credence do you take from the Wardley performance against Hooney, and then how much credence do you take from Parker knocking out Bacoli on short notice? So I'm going to say the same thing. When I was doing tape on GAR, I was like, how much credence are we taking the Rio performance? Because in my opinion, the Rio performance was electric. GAR, it's interesting because I rewatched the fight 2 days ago, and for some reason in my head, I thought Gary Antoine Russell stopped him, but he didn't. It went the distance. And then I rewatched Alberto Puello, and Puello was down. Going into the fifth, I had GAR up 4-1 against Puello. And then GAR either took his foot off the gas, or Puello, he underestimated Puello's toughness. Maybe Puello's size as well. Puello's a big, long, southpaw and he uses the entire ring, and totally different matchup. Playo and Ryo. Hiroka is going to be more akin to what GAR saw in Ryo. Okay, Hiroka could crack. Now, a week ago before I rewatched Ryo and Puyo, I was all hell bent on GAR easy money. I was like 100% convinced GAR easy money against Hiroka. I watched Hiroka's last two fights and I'm thinking, dude, GAR is going to be in for a dog fight. This is going to be a dog fight. I think this fight's closer than people think it is. So, yeah, I'm not picking Hiroka to beat him. All I'm saying is I think we're going to see a barn burner. That's all I'm going to say. What do you think about that? Why didn't I pick Wardley as the underdog? It was plus 300? Because during my Stats Don't Lie breakdown, I told you this, PJ. Watch my breakdown. It's up on my channel. I don't ever pick winners based on odds. There's nothing in the film that I saw in Fabio Wardley that was giving me confidence to then share that with the world on my channel. What was his path to victory? To lose almost every round and then have a flurry in the 11th and have the ref stop the fight? What was his path to victory? I'm not going to put a dude who's plus 300 on a parlay just because the odds are good. You should know that by now about me. Come on, PJ. Lock it up. Oh, I've seen it. And I've seen it. I seen it. He had sex with my mama. Why? GAR fought Boots Ennis 4 times in the amateurs and beat him 3 times. GAR's amateur record is ridiculous. So this is his AMI record. He loses to his last amateur fight. He lost to Galabazarov. Wins over Richardson Hitchens. I guess he has a loss to Hitchens too. So he beat Hitchens once, lost to Hitchens once. Lost to Pat McCormick in the amateurs. We know about Pat McCormick. Wins over Jermaine Ortiz. This is the amateurs, though. Beat Abraham Nova, Hitchens, Jermaine Ortiz, Jaron Ennis. It just depends on how much credence do you want to take. And guys, the reason, I don't use this in my film study, by the way. Like when I'm breaking tape down, the amateur record means nothing to me in terms of my prediction, but it's a good talking point. You know what I'm saying? It's a good talking point. It's cool. Like, did you know stuff? Like for instance, Malik Montgomery. Did you guys watch Malik fight against Joshua Pagan? Malik Montgomery fought Joshua Pagan in Puerto Rico 2 days ago. Malik Montgomery, storied amateur career. Montgomery, as a pro, recently fought at 126. He was coming off that loss to Jeremy Hill at 130. He fought Pagan at 135. Guess who he fought in the amateurs? Edgar Berlanga. So my point is, people grow, their physiques change. Gary Antoine Russell, his size, he was like this when he was, I'm pretty sure he fought at one in the Amis. He was fighting at either 40 or 35. No, he fought at 30. So he fought at 130 in the amateurs. So he's only gained 10 pounds. So he fought Boots Ennis at 130 in the amateurs 4 times. And we know how big Boots is. So my point is, you could take, he went 3-1 against Boots in the amateurs. I think they fought at 130 pounds, maybe even 126. And now as a pro, GAR fights at 40. And, he'll probably end up staying. He might go up to 47. But Ennis, before it's all said and done, Ennis might be at, we could see Ennis go up to at least maybe 68. So guys grow at different times was my point. So it's really hard to put too much credence and emphasis on specific matchups that happened before these guys were physically matured. Why don't you consult? What's the sports almanac? Oh, the DeLorean comment could have been stopped. I agree. I agree. What could have been stopped in the second? You think it could have been stopped in the 10th? Okay. Aussie Pugilist, appreciate the super chat, guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the positivity on the channel as well. And welcome to the Discord, big dog. Antoine going to take Subaru belt once he beats Hiroka. Okay, so do you think he's going to be undisputed at 40? You know, I would love to see him and Hitchens fight. I would love to see that fight. I'm high on Richardson Hitchens. I really think that look, this is Antoine Russell is one of my favorite champions. He is. I always talk about, you guys know, the longer you're on my channel, you know I'm a big fan of Gary Antoine Russell. And this is no shade on Russell. But I think Russell's game is where it's at. I think he's at his ceiling. And his ceiling, he's a world champion. I don't really think he could add too much to his game, which is not, it shouldn't be controversial. Richardson Hitchens, on the other hand, I do not think he is a finished product. It's you know, and we got receipts. It's why I think, would we get him at plus 350, plus 450 to knock out Kambosos? It's why I took that bet. Because I felt the Hitchens version we were going to get against George was going to be a continued leveling up. And with Richardson, I think he has one of the best jabs in all of boxing. I love his technique. I love his hand speed. I love a technical sound boxer, man. Somebody who you just see the years and years of like everything is just fluid and clean. But you know, he gets you biting. Once he gets you biting, then he's countering. He's walking you onto things. Jab, jab, jab. With Hitchens, it's something I've always said was always going to be a confidence thing with him. The second he gets his viral knockout moment. This was going into the George fight. This was on my Go to the Stats Don't Lie video. I said, the second Hitchens gets his viral knockout moment, you're going to see a different version of him because he has all of the physical attributes to beat anybody on the planet. What he didn't have yet was the confidence to trust in the power, to trust in him being a world champion, to trust in him punching with his opponents. You give a kid like Richardson Hitchens the confidence of a guy who trusts in his skills. When his skills are already here, he is going to be a tough out, man. I don't know, dude. I hope we get to see it. I hope we get to see it. I just can't say that. And these two of my favorite fighters, there's no way that I could just sit here and say that Antoine would beat him. Keyshawn. Boy, Keyshawn's good. Dude, Keyshawn, special. Big fan of Keyshawn. I actually rate Hitchens over Keyshawn, though. From what I see, I put Richardson I like Hitchens above Keyshawn, which sounds crazy. Keyshawn he's a bit more sparkly. You know, like Keyshawn has a bit more shine to him. But I think that's why I like Hitchens a little bit more. I like an underdog. With Richardson, to me, I feel like with him, you get a kid in his head. He's always been overlooked. You know, he feels that he kind of has an underdog mindset. I'll bet on that guy. That's what I like about him. You know what I mean? And I like brash shit talkers too, though. You know what I'm saying? I like a guy who could talk shit and back it up. So I'm not a conservative sort of stylistic fan. It's just there's certain things in certain fighters that you like, right? And Hitchens, I like the underdog, technical mindset guy who's still kind of learning and growing into his confidence. And with Keyshawn, I'm here for it, man. I like Norfolk's son. You know, I like the admiration he has for Norfolk. I love Pernell Whitaker. He was one of my favorite fighters as a kid. Pernell was from Norfolk, and you know, Virginia, rich boxing history. So they just go about their business. And GAR, you know, the same. If you were to take Hitchens' personality and then Keyshawn's personality, GAR might be actually to the left of Hitchens in terms of conservative, because we know the Russell brothers, they're not self promoters. You know, try to find GAR's Instagram. You know what I mean? Try to find like Gary Russell. Gary Russell's going to be a little bit more, outspoken. And at one time, Gary Russell, fastest hands in boxing. People forget, dude. Gary Russell, the older brother, mate, his hand speed, dude. Jesus, that family. Um, and then you had his little brother, the youngest one, just fought like a month ago. There's Gary Antoine, Gary Russell, and then Gary starts with the A as well. We just saw him fight. Usyk, my God, Raleigh Romero, dude. So Raleigh at 47, Usyk. I'm not going to sit here and talk trash about Raleigh. If I know you know me from the channel, Raleigh's my guy. I'm a fan of Raleigh. I always say I'm a has there been another two division? He's a two-division world champion, overachiever. Raleigh Romero, overachiever. I gotta love an overachiever. You know what I'm saying? A dude that, because of his personality, people have always sort of casted away, and they underrate him and they sell him short until he constantly, you know. Nobody had him against Garcia. No one picked him against Ryan Garcia. If that version we saw with Raleigh, that motivated version, fighting confidently, his explosivity in and out, that's something that goes that no one talked. Everyone talked about the hook. Everyone talked about the hook and the physicality. But dude, the kid, his foot, the explosivity he has of being able to just boom do things that a lot of guys can't do, because a lot of his strengths you can't train that. You have to be born with a lot of the gifts that Raleigh has. So I'm interested, man. Does Raleigh, at 47, what's his move? We know we got Norman Jr. versus Haney. I I mean, I would put, you can't, dude. Anybody at 47, you just can't say Raleigh would get dog walked. You know what I'm saying? Like he cut a lot of weight the Tank fight, and he got stopped. But if you rewatch that Tank fight, he fought what you get with Raleigh, very brave, coming forward, not, he was attacking Tank. And I guarantee when he looks back at the tape, he regrets that, because, he fought too emotionally. He fought with a real low IQ and was just running onto shots because he was just running, sprinting after you like he was trying to, like, army tackle you. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you had the performance against the old man that, was it a gift? I don't know. Was it? You make the call. Became a full world champion at 40, got elevated at 47 after the Ryan Garcia fight. And now you look at the landscape at 47 since Jaron Ennis went to 54. I mean, Imanis Stanionis is still in the hunt at 47. Karen Chukachin is in the hunt at 47. Who's the Olympian kid? Giaslav? Giasov is up there. He's in the top 10. The champions, you have the kid from the UK who I felt, got a gift decision against was it Crocker? And then you have Raleigh, Barrios, and who am I missing off the top? Sorry about the chat. I'm catching up right now. You guys just got me on a run. Tiger. I'm a fan of Tiger. Tiger's my guy. But Tiger's fighting Nick Flaz. Pete, don't sleep on Nick. I'm gonna pull Tiger Johnson's my guy, Northeast Ohio guy. Delonte Johnson's my dude. We talk all the time on Insta. Tiger's a beast, undefeated. I like him at 47. He's had a couple fights there since he went from 40 to 47. I think Tiger's gonna still fill out, like, with his frame. You know what I'm saying? But Nick can fight, man. I'll pull up Nick real quick. Guys, especially this version of Nick. Because don't judge this dude from, I mean, he only has a handful of losses. But when you're talking about a Puerto Rican, a fun Puerto Rican style, the charisma, everything that comes along with that Puerto Rican style, boy. La Bestia. 15-2. I mean, his last loss was to Boca Chica. He got stopped early against Boca Chica. That was 5 years ago. Now, Boca Chica's a guy. Boca Chica could crack. He got hands. He's no, he really hasn't done much since then. Boca Chica is a guy whose career that after that Nick Flaz knockout, you kind of thought that his career was going to take off, and it just happens in boxing. Sometimes you need more than just your performance. You need the right people carrying your career. You need the right promoter, sort of thing. But Boca Chica wasn't a bum. It wasn't like he got starched against a buster. Boca Chica could crack. The Jai Tucker win. He hasn't lost since 2020. So since then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-0 with 1, 2, 3. So 6-0, three decisions, 3 stoppages. But with Tiger Johnson, you're not going to get a guy. He's not a guy who, as of now in his career, that win a lot of rounds, but he's still figuring out who he is as a pro. He better throw a lot of punches, though. That's all I'm going to say. If he thinks he's going to sit back against Nick Flaz and let Flaz depict where the fight takes place, let Flaz punch, have more volume, more output, because Tiger doesn't, he's at his best when he's making it his style of fight, when it's a pretty looking fight. You know what I mean? I think the game plan would be to put him on his back foot, force him into a dog fight. And so Nick Flaz is a 100% live dog here. Let's bring up the odds. Hopefully, I wonder if they're going to let us see the odds on this one. Yeah, here we go. Oh, I can't wait for this fight, guys. 2 weeks, man. Dude, Nick Flaz at 240, dude. And look at those odds. So look at the money coming in. There's already been money coming in on Nick because these odds were wider, and you could see that the diagram there. I think Tiger should 100% be on upset alert. I do. Yes, he's a technician. He's a mover. But his timing is going to have to be on point. His accuracy is going to have to be on point. He's going to have to get his punch volume up for sure. Yeah, but Tiger's not. I think what's Nick's probably 31. What's Tiger, 28? How old's Tiger Johnson? 20. Tiger's 27. So Tiger just turned 27. And Nick Flaz. No, Nick Flaz is 29. I see, Julius, I always think this too. I made this mistake on my last live stream. I thought Nick Flaz was 33 years old. I thought Nick Flaz was 132 years old. He's 29. He's a year and a half. He's like 2 years older than Tiger, but a wealth of pro experience. You know what I'm saying? So Flaz turned pro. Flaz turned pro a decade ago. A decade ago. I'm glad you're eating, Vic. Vic Valdez is out here eating. Tiger don't have a lot of knockouts. All of his fights go the distance. That's sort of like that operator, that amateur operator. Like I said, you brought it up. He's going to use the entire ring. He's going to use his jab. He's going to score points. He's going to walk you onto shots. He's going to counter you. He doesn't want it to be a dirty fight. The hope that I have in Tiger's career though is that since his move up, he used to cut a lot of weight to make 47 or to make 40. And since his move up, I think this will be his third fight. I think this is his third fight at 47. Maybe his second. No, he looked good. His first fight was against the kid from Cleveland. Didn't he fight the Gunnerman? I think Tiger fought the Gunnerman, Thomas Matisse, in his first fight at 47. And then I don't know if he had his second fight at 47. Oh no, he didn't fight Tom. Who am I thinking of fought Matisse and another Ohio fighter? My bad. It wasn't Tiger. Was it Albert Bell? I'm getting my Ohio guys mixed up. Sorry. So he fought Boca Chica, Kendo Castaneda. So Castaneda was his first fight at 47. And then Boca Chica, he won on points. So this will be his third fight at 47. Yeah, no. I knew PJ I was right. You out here crazy. Trying to make me second guess myself. Always be always talking shit. Just can't open the goddamn door. Yeah, not old at all. Hell yeah, it's a good age. All right, guys, we're approaching now. This is a good one. You got me doing Friday references now. Rest in peace, John Witherspoon. Every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen. In the goddamn refrigerator. Eating up all the food. We're not cooking it. No. No. This is the Sabbath. We ain't cooking up no goddamn parlay. We out here just chilling. We just kicking it. Listening to some like Arrested Development. Take me to another place. Take me to another land. Help you understand. Let's cook up a parlay. No, not today. We gotta have some boundaries, PJ. Not today. But boys, you guys are beasts. I do have to get out. My girl's making me. She's like, Johnny, what did she say? She was like, Chrissy kind of sometimes will make up names for food dishes and then act like I don't pick up on it. And I'll be like, Chrissy, I don't know if you pronounce that right. You know, like, because her parents don't even speak English. So she's first generation Australian. Her parents are from Sicily and Calabria. So it's Southern Italian. So she was raised by parents who spoke no English. So some of her, and she's super educated, but she'll just try to like slide under the door, mispronounce words. And I'll be like, hold on, I don't really think that you pronouncing that right. So she said that she was making, chicken scallopini. I was like, I don't know if we really doing all that. Anyway, she's making me dinner. I appreciate you guys. The super chats, the new subs, the support, 90 minutes in. If you're still watching this 90 minutes in, man, I say thank you. Like I said, guys, I've already started film. So I've already done some film study. I'm going, tomorrow's my Monday. Tomorrow's your Sunday. If you guys are taking the day off, my Monday live streams are usually the slowest, which is fine. But make sure you check in on the channel because I'm going to be uploading my first Stats Don't Lie video of the week. Michaela Mayer fight. This is a Johnny Says Boxing membership 2. Johnny Says Insider level 2. And on the level 2 memberships, you get to pick a fight for me to break down. And this one that I'm uploading tomorrow is Mary Spencer versus Michaela Mayer. So stay tuned to the channel. I appreciate all you guys. PJ, Elagos, and Boxing Fan, Julius, everyone who's still on the chat, man, I say thank you. Let's get this.